All right, so it's that time, K. What do you say, J and K? What we got, my brother?
All right. So this message came in from YouTube. It says, after 22 years of being in a relationship with my college sweetheart, then taking a pause from dating for a year and a half to reset before getting involved in another relationship, I'm finally ready to get back in the game. But I have to be honest, the stories I hear about dating in 2024 have me confused and concerned. Although they all hate it, my bros tell me to do online dating. They say it's necessary. It's a necessary evil. I'm hoping you guys can tell me as a heterosexual man, what are the positives and negatives I should be looking for. I don't know if you guys have done online dating, but if you have, please share your own experiences so others can learn what to do and what not to do. So this is interesting. This is I think both of us could probably give a TED talk on some online dating, on what not to do, what to do, what to look out for. So thanks, person didn't leave his name, but thanks for this guy for asking this question. I'm gonna let you take a shot at this.
Yeah, I mean, how much time do we?
Yeah,
have?
right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen, I'll just make it short and sweet. I mean, man, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I don't know if there's any positives to it. Yo, this is, I would say the only positives that I can think is that, especially with some of these sites, you can be specific in terms of what you're looking for, in terms of, maybe ethnicity, age range, whether they have children or whether they don't, kind of, the geography, like where they live, kind of things like that. You can kind of be a little more fine-tuned in terms of what you're looking for. And especially on some of the sites, like I'll give a shout out to like maybe Hinge or something like that. Maybe not so much on Bumble. But there's certain sites you could, you can maybe more fine-tune. My personal biggest problem that I've, discovered with it and I don't even know if it's so much the dating sites itself, it's just the women of today.
Yeah, and I think that's what he was alluding to.
Yeah,
it's dating in 2024.
Yeah, it's the women of today, and I think social media and some of these dating sites have to do a lot with it. But on social media, in terms of dating, you have so much of a variety of women you can talk to. Especially with the women, they have a whole variety of men that they can talk to. Back in the days when we was young and coming up and in the clubs, we didn't have Instagram to just go on and meet women and slide in their DMs. No, we didn't have none of that. We didn't have any of these dating sites. We had to shower up, put on our threads. God damn, I sound old, right? Shit. Anyway, put on our clothes, go to the clubs. Shout out to Bentley's. We had to go to the spots, and we had to meet women who were at these particular clubs, right? So people have to put on their best and go out there, men and women, right? Now today you just sit home and you could be in your pajamas, your shorts. You don't need to get your hair done. You could be all messed up. These women, you see them online, all dressed up in their bikinis and their hair done and all that stuff. Meanwhile, they're on their phone looking all effed up and jacked up and whatever that, and looking a hot mess. You wouldn't even want to go out with them if you saw them behind that phone.
Right.
But I mean, but that's kind of where it is. And kind of one of the biggest problems that I've noticed is that women want to, in 2024, they want to go to Bora Bora before they go to Starbucks, right? And I feel like the women today, they're more interested in the date being great than the man being great, right? They want to be able to go and tell their girlfriends, oh, he took me there, he took me there. He took me to Del Frisco's. He took me to the hottest restaurant in there. He took me to Dubai. Again, they want vacations before whatever. So I just think it's just very difficult that people they have so many options today, right? They don't invest in even getting to know one another as they did back when we were younger, right? They took time. You had those phone calls. You had a couple of dates or whatever. No, they're right now. I want instant gratification, like right now, before even taking the time. And, I don't want to be biased or anything like that, but, I'm interested in women, right? I date women. I don't know if men act like this, but I don't think so. Women just want everything right now. They have these expectations. And I got to blame some of us men, right? Because these men are immediately flying these women out to Bora Bora. Immediately. Right off of Instagram. Their first date is in Bora Bora. So I can't even blame some of the women. Right. Because that's what they're kind of used to. And that's what the men are doing because they have the money to do it. And listen, I'm broke. I ain't got no money. But let's just say I did. Let's just say I did. Even if I could afford to fly you out to Dubai or Bora Bora, whatever, I just would not do it. I want to know. Listen, true story. I asked a woman out on a date the other day. She told me straight up. I said, listen, let's go grab a cup of coffee. She was like, honestly, I don't leave my house for coffee. I don't leave my house for coffee. It would take me way longer getting ready to go out and grab some coffee than it would to take me to go out on an actual date. You hear that? She doesn't consider going out and grabbing coffee as a real date. Yeah. Now, to me, I don't really understand that. Because to me, a date is a date.
Right.
A date is just two people getting together and talking, having a conversation and getting to know one another and finding out if this is maybe a second date may happen, right? It's just meeting in person, right? Yep. You can talk on the phone and that's fine. That's great. You got to do that. But you also have to meet in person. There's no need to meet in person at the finest restaurant in the world, the five. And don't get it twisted, Kay. And ladies, don't get it twisted. It has nothing to do with us men not wanting to spend money on the date. What I'm saying is it's not necessary. All that's necessary is getting together and talking with one another. So in closing, in 2024, what I see is that women, again, I don't date men, so I don't know how the men think, but I'm pretty sure. Women, they're not interested in the men themselves. They're just interested in actually going out on a great date. That's what I think how dating is going in 2024. And that's a big problem.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
And
I know, I took up so much time. Go ahead, bro.
It's a lot, and there's a lot more to even be said.
Oh, it's a lot more. Like, I know. It's a lot more. But we'll be here all day.
Right. There's a lot more to be said. So he said he was in a relationship for 22 years. Yeah. So he's in this relationship for 22 years, gets out of that relationship, and then waits about a year and a half. Now he's ready. So we're doing the math back. We're talking about this dude hasn't been single since maybe 2001.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame out there now.
Yo, shit is different now, man.
Right.
So he's going to literally feel like he landed on another planet. Mm. The dating experience for him is totally different than what he experienced before. Mm-hmm. So a couple of things I would say, right? Caution. I would give a cautionary tale related to this whole online experience thing. One, do not look for love. Mm-hmm. That is not what you should be doing. I don't care if it's dubbed a dating site. Don't do that. I think the intent for it is to meet someone that you would not otherwise meet, right? So that's what the algorithms and the site will do. All of the other boy meets girl kind of stuff, that stuff is still up to people, right? Mm-hmm. I would start there. So don't go in there expecting to find love. You're just going to meet this woman. You said you're heterosexual male. You're going to meet this woman that you otherwise wouldn't meet. It creates that platform for you to do that. Outside of that, let nature take its course. The other thing I would say is when dating online is to navigate the pitfalls, right? And Jay and I have talked about this numerous times. catfish. If you probably haven't dealt with that term,
that's
right?
another topic.
There's a ton of folks on there who are acting like they're someone that they're not. So you got to watch out for that.
Which I'll never understand that.
Never understood that, right? So you got to be mindful of that. There is a lot of people being or perpetrating and acting like there's someone that they are not. I think Jay talked about a lot of intent. Have the conversation about intent, right? Before you pursue. Jay has built in some variables to ensure that people are in it for him and not just for some other things. So you may want to listen to Jay on some of those things.
Coffee dates, fellas, coffee dates. Trust and believe. That's the way to go.
Right, man.
That's the way to go.
I think there's that part. Take a very business approach to it. Don't get caught up in how you feel, right? Until you have properly vetted this person. The experience, and I love when you touched on kind of how things were done in the past. Because in the past, we could ideally go out, meet this woman, exchange phone numbers, and then that's it. We were her and you were almost had to see it through to some degree. And so there was this level of investment in this because this was pre-online, pre-social media, and there wasn't 100 people sitting in your inbox that you can just fast food off to the next one. Swipe away, right?
Right.
So you almost had to give it an opportunity.
You had to give it some time, to grow.
To cultivate, to meet that person, to talk, and so forth and so on.
Right.
I think because we can so change things so quickly, it's so disposable that it's difficult to create any cohesion with anyone. So I would say to be mindful of that.
Yeah.
The last thing I would say before throwing it back over to you, sex is far easier than it's ever been. Listen, sucking dick is the new hello. I'm just going to put it out there. It is absolutely 100% incredibly easy to have sex, to be intimate. I've never seen it this way before. So I would say be mindful of that. How you approach that is up to you, but I would just say that that's different than how it was before.
Hold on.
So Doc got something to add. What we got, Doc?
Because I don't really dabble in the dating apps. So, so what you're saying is
Doc, this is crazy. Doc been quiet all motherfucking show.
I heard he had to chime in now.
I heard something about the new hello.
Right. He hears fellatio's the new hello. Right. What does he say? Hello.
He might have to
who do I need to be introduced to?
I'm about to log on to one of these new date apps.
Right. Absolutely. Who do I need to be introduced to?
Y'all have to run down these apps to me.
I'm just saying, and listen, this is just the environment. It just is. It's not right. Like, I don't want to pivot into something, into another topic, but like when it comes to sex, women are far more liberated than they seem like they've ever been. They openly talk about going through their whole phase. Body counts don't matter to them, right? Like they claim that and now say it doesn't matter, which makes me scratch my head because it's up to the man. It's never been up to the woman, right? It's what the buyer's market says what are too many in the body, but we can debate that. But yeah, it's just a different climate. It's a different tone, and as a result of that, the guardrails are gone. So yeah, if someone's not getting laid now, I don't know what they're doing wrong, or if they're doing anything, because it is incredibly simple and easy, and it's just a part of it. It's just a part of it, for real.
Well, let me say two things on terms of the sex part of it. If I get sex right away, I don't want you. Like, because if I'm looking for something real, if I'm going on a dating app and he's going on a dating app, and let's say he gets sex right away. Men, if you get sex right away, first date, she ain't the one.
No.
It depends. No. It depends on what you're looking for.
Come on,
trust and believe. It depends on what you're looking for. If you're just looking to have fun and just have sex, by all means, do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna hate on that. But if you're looking for a quality woman, me personally, it doesn't matter how much I'm attracted to you. I'm a man, right? So I'm gonna always want to have sex, but I'm not gonna want to have sex with you on the first date if I really like you. If I get sex on the first date, that's I don't I want it, but I don't want it.
So when is it okay? When is it in your mind? She okay, right? That she's okay to be considered as a long-term partner. When is it okay to have sex with her in your mind?
On what date? On what number date?
On what date? Yeah.
I don't want it on the first date.
No, you've established that.
Right.
You're saying the no, but I'm saying when's the yes?
You know what? That's a great question, but all I know is not the first date.
Oh, that's
no. I'm just giving you a truthful answer.
Nah.
I can't give you a number.
So the second date, it's okay.
I didn't say that either.
That's what. Well, I'm asking.
I just have to feel
so
I wouldn't want it on the first date if I spoke of the first or second. I don't want it on the second date either.
So the third date. So you guys been out 3 times. It's the third date. Right.
I would say I don't want it before the third date.
Okay. So let's say third date it is. Now
I don't want it before the third date. It could be the third. It could be the 30th.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Right.
If you seem to connect with this person, you live locally, both of you live locally, and you just so happens, for whatever reason, go out 3 times in the same week. Then that's still okay? It's third date, but it's all in the same week.
That's the same goddamn first date.
It's the same date. It's not the number of dates; it's the length of time.
Yeah, to me.
Listen, I'm asking on behalf of all these single women that want to know. Right. Well, who want to get the title from you, but don't want to give it up too soon.
Don't give it up too soon.
That's the
answer. Yeah, don't give it up too soon.
So it's not the dates as much as it is the time.
Yeah, it's the time. It's the time.
So if you had 2 dates over the span of 2 months, that would be okay.
No.
Really?
No.
So
no.
if you
2 dates over the now it all depends now. Are we talking on the phone every day over 2 months? And
it just didn't happen over 2 months.
Right.
Busy schedule.
But we're talking a lot.
Communicating,
FaceTiming or whatever.
All of that.
Right.
FaceTime, letters, emails, all of it.
I only have one hard set rule.
I know.
And that's first date. Absolutely not. I don't care how much you like me, how much I like you, how much I'm attracted to you. May I want it on the first date? Sure, because I'm a man. But I want it, but I don't want it. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I disagree. But
well, I hear you. But I don't want it. Now, so that's what I believe. But my more important message to him and the brothers out there, I gotta push this.
Okay.
I gotta push this.
All right.
Don't take a woman on a first date to dinner. Don't do it. I gotta press to you guys. There are places that you should take a woman to on a first date, and I will tell you why. It's fine to take them to a coffee date. You can take them bowling. You could take them on a picnic. You could do any of those things because the goal of a first date is to simply sit down and speak to a woman and have a great conversation and get to know her as a person.
And you can't do that at dinner?
No. Let me explain.
We're trying to get her to say hello.
Here's
Doc with the one-track mind. What makes it even funny, he's like voice of God.
He's a voice of God. So let me explain now. The reason why men should not take women to dinner is because it is easy. And women don't hate me. Listen to this when I say, and y'all know this to be true too. A woman does not have to like you or have any amount of interest in you, the gentleman, me, or Doc, to go out and eat dinner with us. They don't have to have any interest in us whatsoever.
Okay, but aren't you feeding them when you went bowling? Aren't you feeding them at a picnic? You're feeding them regardless. So,
no, listen. First of all, we got to coffee. We can get.
Well, you said, but you said, Grant, you said coffee, but you said bowling. You're going to eat it. You can eat my bowling. You can eat at a picnic.
We don't have to. We don't have to.
All right, but you're eating at a picnic.
But my whole thing is,
I'm trying to get. I guess I'm just trying to get.
You just go out to the park. It doesn't have to be.
I'm just trying to get clarification.
Okay.
Just at a picnic. I'm just saying, what is it about the meal, right? But the things that you mentioned, you can eat at other places as well. Is it specifically eating at a restaurant?
Right. So do not take a woman out to a restaurant. Now, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said picnic. I said go to the park, right? And even when you go bowling, you don't have to eat. Bowling is bowling. My whole point is that the women just need to know that there's no food involved. So if I say coffee, right? If I say bowling, right? I'm not, you're assuming that they're going to eat at bowling. No. Let's just go bowling. Let's just go for a walk in the park then. Sorry, I said picnic because that implies food. Okay, my bad, right? So just something that doesn't imply food. Because if that woman is going out with you to just go bowling, you say, let's just go bowling, right? I'm not talking about food. Let's go bowling. Let's have a cup of coffee. Let's go to the park. Let's sit on the bench. Let's just talk. If that woman says yes to that, sure, that's a great, you know that there is interest in just you versus a woman just saying, listen, yeah, I want to go and eat because they could just be interested in eating.
I've done both.
Okay.
I've done both.
Okay.
To where we've met in the park.
Okay.
We've met at a coffee shop.
Okay.
And we've met over a meal.
Okay.
So, and I can say, there's nothing differentiated, right?
For you,
right? And
not for women. There's a big difference for women.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Right. And so, there was no differentiator, and what I mean by that is a dinner date or dinner meeting, first date, what have you, meal first date, let's just say with the meal, was no greater or less loss of a relationship than one that didn't happen, right? And the ones where I met in the park wasn't necessarily better or turned out better than one where we went for a meal.
Okay.
I would say that for me, in relation to what you were saying, is the vetting before that, regardless of what you do, in my opinion, needs to be there. Like there needs to be more investment in that.
Yes.
And so I felt comfortable enough for us to go out on that first date, gathering, meetup.
Yeah.
There was a meal involved. And those turned out, in many cases, we continued dating until I didn't want to date anymore. There were some that didn't. I didn't want to. I felt more, and I would say this about the meal, had less to do with her, more to do with me feeling like I can't believe I took her out to eat. Now I don't want to date her. Right. Like it was rarely, if ever I recall, that there was me having buyer's remorse. Like I feel like she just, I take that back. There was one when somebody just came to mind.
Right.
Where the meal, I felt like she came up. Like she used the meal as a come up.
So you think she just went out with you to eat?
Oh, I know she just went out with
Right. Okay, right.
Yeah, no, she just did.
And you did a great vetting process, right? But so she played the game.
She played the game. I think it was more. So to be clear. Right. To be clear.
I want to know why did you feel that she did just come out for the dinner? What made you feel that way?
I feel this way. I think that she had. I think she was not just for the meal, but I think she came out for the meal, and she was into me, but she was not she was not committed to the process of it.
Well, it was just a first date. So
but it was more than that. It was still like it's tough to explain, but it was like I think I found out that she like had another
agenda,
like another meal or date like after our date.
After.
Right. So it was so I think she was definitely still into me, but she also wanted that meal, right? Like it's like, hey, like I'm meeting up with so and so later on. Not that she said this, but I kind of pieced it together. She's meeting up later on. Mm-hmm. But so I'll go out with Kay, get this lunch thing popping, right?
And get dinner with Joe afterwards.
Right. And meet up with Jay tonight.
Right.
I like Kay.
Yeah, right.
I'll see him again.
Right.
But I still need that.
I gotta eat.
I still need that brunch.
Right.
So I hear you from that standpoint. So it's not totally what you're saying.
Right.
So I think I was used for the meal, but I also think that she was into me. And why I say that is because we did continue to talk until I kind of deaded it.
Well, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't a woman go out with the man, whether she liked you or not, when they know they're going to be able to eat? Because they have to eat every day. Yeah. So if a guy is going to buy my meal, if I'm a woman, why not go out with him?
Well, I got to lose.
Yeah, she has nothing to lose but everything to gain. She's going to fill her greedy ass stomach.
Yeah.
Right, and she's going to eat off of me.
Yeah, I'm not mad at you with this in terms of giving that out as advice.
Right, yeah, because I'm just saying at least that way, you know for a fact that if she knows that she's going out and there's no food involved within that date, whatever you choose out of those options or any other options, at least you know that she's interested in you. And I just need to know that to make me feel comfortable. And that's the advice I would give a lot of you men, to just go that. Now, when I say not to take a woman out on a dinner date on the first date, I'm simply talking about the first date. I'm not talking about the second or third. After you got on that first date and you feel that, she really likes me, then by all means, that second, third date, whatever, take him out to a really nice dinner and stuff like that. But by that time, you already got a good feeling that she actually likes you, you know? So it just gives you that kind of, reassurance that she's actually into you and not going out with you just for the free meal.
Right.
That's my best advice that I could give any man.
Good deal. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you agree, but
no,
I mean,
I don't necessarily disagree. Like I said, I think you have your vetting process, because if I'm doing it based on my own experiences, outside of that one incident I told you, I didn't have a lot of bad incidents, but clearly they're out there. I've heard enough men talk about it. Hell, I've heard enough women talk about it, right?
About going out for
foodie
dates.
It's a foodie date.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a foodie call, not a foodie call, right?
I'm hungry.
Right. So I've heard enough of those to make it go, oh man, that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't really experienced it.
It's devastating, Kay.
Yeah, it can be.
It's
tough,
some
man.
shit.
Yeah, it really is. But so that is one of those cautionary tales that I think that men have to look at. Listen, I'll say this last thing on this topic, that men should understand that if they don't know, they should, that in the relationship world, we're the pace setters. We really are. And so just remember how much you're empowered. And I know it sometimes doesn't feel that way because we're typically the pursuers, right? But that's only in the case of, generally speaking, sex. That's when we become the pursuers. Relationship-wise, that should feel different.
It is, yeah.
It is, but we don't always act like it is. We don't function like we are the ones, right? You are in the selection process as a man to say, I choose to marry you. Where on earth does the person who is selecting who to marry have less of a say?
Well, they have to like you first before you can select them.
Who has to like who?
The woman has to like you first before you select them. Because if in that case, I would have been married to Hallie. Okay.
Point being,
right.
Point being, outside of your extreme case of whatever the hell ails you.
Right.
The point is that marriages don't happen until we say they happen.
Right.
Relationships don't happen until we say they happen. But
that is true.
We are so accustomed to being the pursuers and the chasers that we forget, right, that is now a time to be shown something. So to your point, when we go out, wait to see something. Get to see if she likes you before you're investing and doing those things, because now it has shifted. This is different now, right? And so you almost have to turn off that side of your brain and turn on the other side to say, hey, let me make sure this is here, because you need to be 100% clear that this is someone that you want to be, that you want her to be in a relationship with you.
Right.
And so that's what I would just say.
But let me ask you this. I know you're not a woman, but why do you think some of these women don't understand the point that I just made? Why do they think if a man asks you, listen, let's just go grab a coffee, why do you think that some women automatically think that the man is being cheap? Right? Because a lot of women, that's what they're thinking. Oh, because the rejection I got, I know what women are thinking. Oh, he's just being cheap. He wouldn't take me. Why can't he take me out to a dinner, or like why don't you think they understand the point or the side that we're coming from? Like,
yeah, I think the biggest thing is they haven't had to. There's no need for them to see it from that perspective. You know, because
if I don't take him out to dinner, the next man will.
The next man will, and the next man does, and that's a practice that's been happening.
Yeah.
They've all listen. We're pursuing them. They've always been in this position to just sit back and let it come. They're the spiders. They're spiders. Spiders don't go running and hunting for their food. They just sit there and wait for it, right? And it just flies, just go flying into the net,
right?
And that's where they are. They're just. And so men will come and men will just continue. So with respect to women showing men, right, there could be some atrophy built into that, right? They haven't used that muscle, right? So they don't necessarily have to. And this is why I think sometimes, often, my 2 cents is where they find themselves single and not in relationships, because when it's time for the relationship, they're always been on this side of being pursued. But the relationship side, as a man, as us men, we're now looking at you to vet you to see whether or not we want you as a woman to be in our lives, right? So if said woman is standing on the other side saying, well, he needs to pursue me, and men on the opposite side up like, no, I'm not pursuing anything. Tell me what you bring to the table. Well, they've never had to say that. They've never had to do anything. They just had to show up.
Right.
So now they're just standing there like, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So now it's a standoff. And so that guy's going to move on.
Right.
They're going to wonder why they're single, why they're not in a relationship. You haven't done anything to be in a position to be proposed to. Right. So that's where we hold the key to that. It's men standing inside of Jared looking at rings and buying rings and doing all that stuff. You want the ring? You want that guy on his knee? Well, then you need to present yourself and create something to where he feels like, hey, I don't want to live without this woman.
Okay.
And you don't do that by taking the posture of, well, let him come after me. That I don't know of any true men that's going to be that way, because the true man knows his value, and he's just like I'm not doing that,
right? Like
Jay's not doing that. Like we just ain't no simp vibes over here, right? We know what we bring. I don't pursue. I don't have to. Like I assume women into my life. I'm at a stage in my life where I don't need you to provide or do anything. Right. The most valuable thing you can bring is knowing when to shut up. Right.
Right.
It may sound archaic.
Right.
But I mean, that's the truth of that. I absorb you into my life.
You just want to be just left alone. Just do what you do, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's right. And so you're going to come up by being in a relationship with me. You're better off. Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
Well, you got to understand, but you're also a certain kind of man. You know, there's different kind of men. You know, you have the alpha men, your beta men, you're all the different.
But I think that's what we're talking about. A certain kind of man. If this guy is, if a guy is not a good partner, not a good person, not a good man. Well, we're not talking about him, right? Like nobody wants him, and you know, he is what he is.
Well, I think I think some women today, they're not looking to be partners; they're looking to be the princess. And also a problem. One of the things I noticed about dating in 2024, women believe that simply because they are born with a vagina, that they are automatically a princess, and that's not true. You earn the title of a princess. You are not born a princess. The only princess you are to any man is your father at best. That is the only man that will always look at you like a princess. Other men, you have to earn the title of a princess. But a lot of these women today, in dating in 2020, they automatically think they're a princess because they were born with a vagina. They don't understand. That's not how it works. Well, at least that's the way I see it. I don't know how you see it, but ladies, y'all are not born a princess. I mean, Doc, am I wrong? You're not born a princess. You earn that.
Right.
I don't know what you brothers believe or feel on that, but speak to me. I don't know. Is it just me?
Jay, my daughters are princesses.
Right, of course. Right. Exactly. As they should be. But they are not, your daughters they have to earn the title of a princess with other men. Not you, because you clearly, they are your princess. They were born being your princess.
Okay.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
These guys are being quiet, people. I don't understand. Is it me? Yo, brothers, just take a stand out there. Listen, the whole thing about these women and the brother who wrote us in there, a lot of women today, they are entitled. Brothers, don't fall into that. And I got to blame a lot of you brothers out there. You're the reason why a lot of the women today are feeling this entitlement factor. And brothers, please, I beg and plead, stop this. It's not a good thing. You're making it bad for the rest of us. Please stop it. Treat them how you would want to be treated. All right? What did Father M say? Treat them like you want to be treated. What was that song? Listen, I'm just saying you have to earn being a princess. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. No argument here. No argument here. So good stuff, man.
All right. Kay's telling me to wrap this shit up. We got to go. All right. It's been real. It's been fun. Thank you for writing in. I wish you good luck, my brother, in dating in 2024. Listen, we've had a lot of fun today. Lots of great topics. And we will be back next week with more great debates, more relationship talk, and more good stories on the J and K Show. I'm your man, J Rob. My brother K right there in the house. We'll be back next week on the J and K Show. Until then, be good, be blessed, be safe. See y'all next week. Peace. We out.